Welcome to October week two weekly recap, and we'll go over GJ. So, what this was the analysis from last week. So, we were gonna pull up for liquidity into the supply from 137.8 to 138.2 before going down to 136 as our first target because it was the previous intraday low, right? So, if supply was found, price can drop to the previous low. Otherwise, we would have needed a clear break and retest of this level for bullish continuation, right? You see it's a big supply area from 137.8 to 138.2. Okay, so this is how it played out. We did reach 136 first, which was our target right here. Right here, right? That was our target initially. And then we pushed lower into this demand level here. You see these big wicks, right? Price retest this here, right here, and finally right there before we pushed up, right? So this was 136 was the first target because it was the intraday previous low, right? So if we found supply, then we would push down, and then we reached here, right? And then we made a new low over here at the top of the zone. So let's go over what happened every single day of the week. I've labeled out 3 trades that could have been taken. 2 of them are very high quality setup, while this one wasn't, but we'll go over that. Okay. So the first day was October 12th, I believe. Yeah, October 12th. Yeah, first London session was October 12th. I thought I wanted price to push up further here and then go down, but instead what price created a lower high and then pushed down. This trade could have still been taken. It gave away like 40 pips, but to me that wasn't as high quality. I'd rather have it react to the previous high, right? Okay. Other than that, on Monday, that's what happened, and then price pushed up further. Otherwise, when on Tuesday, market was still ranging within this area, right? Above 137.2 right here, and then 137.8. So the 60 pip range. And I analyzed and I said that price should reach up here. If you saw the recap from this week, the daily trade recap, we're looking for a retest of this level, 137.8, which would have been the final liquidity grab before enough sell orders were in the market, and then we would continue down. So this happened on October 13th at 4:30 a.m. Price pushed up. So an hour and a half after London Open, price pushed up, and you can see could have taken an entry right there or here where price made a lower high. And the further we go into lower time frames, the more evident it is that we were about to go down because supply was found. So several rejections here, a lot of time for entry. Okay, let's say you didn't enter, could have entered on this lower high, or once this consolidation broke down, right? Once this consolidation broke, the next candle retested right here. Right there was a retest, and then it continued down and pushed further down first to 137.2, and then once that broke, we continued down further. Excuse me. So when we're labeling that as a trade, entries up here because that's the most optimal entry, and we know that first TP would have been 50 pips. First take profit would have been 50 pips, and then you could have a runner going because we knew that this level was going to break because we've been consolidating at supply for so long. So once this level broke, you saw that we got the retest right there, right? Once we got the retest, then price continued down. Could easily gotten 100 pips because you see there are these minor levels right here. So first you can right there 136.800ish, right around that area, could have targeted that. So let's say you target that, you got like 90 pips, okay? 90 pips. And then the next day, I remember our target was still 136 from here, right there. So we were targeting 136 or even 135.89. It was the previous 4-hour low, right? That's what we were going to target after supply was found. So the next day on a Wednesday, what price did was price continued down throughout Asian, right? And then what we saw was we were at the previous low and price was retesting it. was consolidating around that area. So when we go into the lower time frames, we'll see what actually happened. Price was below this low, right? And it was also below 136.200 psychological level. So it consolidated, but it was ranging towards the downside, meaning that there was going to be some sort of impulsive move that was going to come. And that impulsive move was 50 pips, and it bottomed out at 135.700. So you couldn't take in a sell here. It's not the cleanest setup, but stop loss wise, like it was like 1 to 4, right? All right, you're gonna target 135.8, so it wasn't even that good. 1 to 3, and then what happened was we pushed below the previous low, right? We pushed below the previous low, and a lot of times I said that there's below previous lows, there's a lot of liquidity. Okay, so price pushed below here, and let's check out 1 minute price action when it pushed below. So this was before the time, right before Brexit news came out. Okay, so what price did, as soon as we tapped below, price started, instead of doing this from before, bottomed out, higher low, higher low, higher lows, range a bit before we broke out, retested at the new 4 a.m. candle at 5 a.m. Eastern, 2 hours after London Open, and then price pushed up to 136.800, which was a previous 1 hour level. So in this instance, price had dropped from 137.800 to 135.800. That is a total of 200 pips. So it needs some sort of retracement, right? And price was continuously dropping. So you could have taken buys at when market structure was starting to shift, right? And we know that when market structure shifts, there is a reversal coming, and that was 90 pips right there. So this would have been the high quality trade. I didn't like the sell. This one, I mean, just wait for the next setup, right? And it's right around the corner. Literally, it was right around the corner. There's 80 pips up. Brexit news came, pushed price up, but you didn't even need to know about the news because price was already showing you signs that it's going to reverse. And we literally just went through that, right? Like, look. Oops, why isn't it loading now? Oh, there it is. So you saw signs it was going to reverse, could have entered on the higher low, right? Get the optimal entry, and then price pushed up. So simple. Range down market structure, another 90 pips, right? And then the next quality setup was, and then price continued up during New York, and it went back to retest this market structure, right? Because we had previously broken it, this market structure right here. So we were retesting, it retested that 137.3-ish, around 200 level, topped out, created a low, and then went back up. This was essentially the lower high that was created. Seen this happen so many times. And once staff got formed on Thursday, price pushed further down, and safer entries on this would have been, I'll show you on 3 minutes. As the new 4 hour candle open at 130, you could have taken an entry there. And then I would have targeted 0.500, right? I was in this setup, in this trade. I had an entry where I just labeled it. Actually, I had it a bit lower. Oops. So I had it at 137.04. 137.04. Right here, I had it. I had a trailing stop, so got stopped out here, and then price continued further down to 500. But you can see that it was very clear. I'll show you on 1 minute. On 1 minute, it was clear. It got a little bit choppy near London Open before. So this was essentially lower high, right? And then lower high pushed down. Price pushed all the way to 800, consolidated a little, so it wasn't able to break this top. So it pushed down further and then created another lower high. And then eventually we kept going further lower. But we knew that, sorry, it's just allergies. We knew that once price was gonna break, let me just move this. We knew that once price was gonna break past this area, that it was gonna continue and go to the next low, which was down here. So So you've taken this trade, push further down, 110 pips, could have had a runner going, right? Otherwise, if you missed that entry, there wasn't really an entry here, but I think around pre-New York, price pulled back. Yeah, so like pre-New York, price pulled back, got a lower high form, and then new low, and then continued down, and eventually reached a level by a little after 45 minutes after New York open. Okay, so one thing that I know confuses a lot of people is the fact that GJ retraced super hard, so everybody thought that price was now bullish, but it's not, right? This was just a liquidity grab and retest of structure. There's structure here, price structure here, and then we continued further down, eventually we reached the bottom, right? So this large move doesn't mean that price is shifting now, okay? It's just we've been dropping for so long. We've dropped 200 straight pips, so we need some sort of retracement. And where's a better place to retrace than previous market structure here, right? This trend line here too. So you see, we retraced the previous market structure. Once we broke this low, once we broke this out of this range, price was free flow down to this area, down to the previous low, okay? And eventually reached down here due to Brexit news, but unexpected. And then this was evident before too, when price did it a couple weeks ago. They're dropped to 136.8, retraced all the way up to 138.2. So 140 pips we retraced up, and as soon as we retested market structure and broke back below this range over here, price continued down, created a new low. Same thing just happened, right? So it's just a matter of knowing that, differentiating actual shift in direction and just a retest of market structure or something, okay? But that's it. Three quality setups, including the buys. I didn't really like the sells, but buys could have taken. Just and a reminder to myself also, because I didn't take the buys, reminder to everyone that trust price action. Just watch market structure and just don't hold a bias against it, right? Like here, market structure is showing us that it's about to reverse. So when market structure shows you that, just have confidence and execute, okay? So total, that was, let's calculate the pips, 90, 80, so like 90, 90, right? Because it was 136.8 was the target, 180, 180, 110, right? So 290 pips on GJ, 3 quality setups out of the 5 trading days. Thanks for watching. Hope it was helpful, and enjoy the rest of your day.